Hey YouTube, it's EbMagician34, and I have your top 5 cards for the Lost Millennium. Ranking in at number 5 is Mega Rock Dragon. Okay, this set wasn't overly abundant with, game-breaking cards necessarily, but Mega Rock is still a cool choice, and I'd say he earns the number 5 spot. He can't be special summoned or normal summoned in any way except by his effect, and you can remove any number of rock monsters in your grave that you want from play to summon this guy, and he's 700 attack and defense for each one you removed, which means that, kind of like a mid to late game beat stick, this guy can be pretty huge. I mean, you have to consider that removing only 5 rock monsters is going to make this guy 3,500 attack and defense, which pretty much makes him king of the hill on the field. So he's a cool endgame card, just a good beat stick, and if all else fails, you can always remove 1 rock and just special him out there as tribute fodder or whatnot. So he's a cool option, and he can definitely make the cut for rock decks in the future. You never know what'll come out in future sets. So, number 5. Ranking in at number 4, Des Wombat. Probably a much better card than number 5, to be honest with you. He's a no tribute monster who just locks out burn damage that's going to hit you. And he's got 1600 attack, which is nice, because most burn decks, whether they're control or speed oriented, don't really have a way of getting over this guy very well. What's so awesome about this guy versus cards like, say, Prime Material, Dragon, and other monsters with effects similar to this is that this guy doesn't require any tributes, anything. He isn't conditional about how he stops effect damage. It's not once per turn. He just blanket effect stops it cold. And what's really awesome is usually even decks like Chainburn will wait until your main phase in order to go off, quote unquote. And so summoning this guy just completely shuts him down, and a lot of times they have no way over him. And if he's kept alone on the field, even Lava Golem can't suck him up and kill him. So this makes Des Wombat arguably one of the best anti-burn cards ever created. And he's still one of the best ones yet, after many years since his original printing. So that definitely earns him a good spot up here in number 4. Ranking in at number 3, just edging him out, is Winged Kuriboh. Nice little 1-star monster, he's light, so he can play with Chaos, you can use Flute of Summoning Kuriboh to go get him, you can get him off Shining Angel, you can do all kinds of things to go get him. And just if he's destroyed on the field and sent to the yard, you just don't take battle damage for the rest of the turn, which is awesome. It means if he's popped by a card effect, basically he Wabakoos for you. If he gets destroyed by an attack, no more damage that turn. He's a great stall card. And like I say, Flute of Summoning Kuriboh is just a hilarious way to get him out. It's an intriguing variant on, say, Chaos, if you want to do it that way. And he can make for some interesting stall decks, like for Final Countdown and whatnot, that could offer deck thinning via Flute of Summoning Kuriboh. So he's just a really neat option. He's a cool card to have around. Number 2, however, gets a little more into the competitive arena with DD Survivor. This guy's a 4-star warrior, he's dark, he's 1800 attack, there's nothing not to like there. It makes him very searchable, very versatile. And the best part is, anytime he's banished from your side of the field while he's face up, he just comes back during the end phase, which is awesome. It makes him obviously combine very well with things like Banisher of the Radiance, Banisher of the Light, Dimension Fissure, Macrocosmos. He's a big combo card, but he's also a recurrent beat stick. You can tribute him for, say, Kai's the Shadow Monarch, and he comes back into play, and he can be beating later on. Or you can just special him in defense, and he's a recurring wall that your opponent has to keep getting over. Now, granted, he only has 200 defense, but the fact that he keeps coming back, I mean, worst case scenario is kind of like a Treeborn Frog that offers you 1800 attack, and can be used for synchro summoning quite adequately, and so on and so forth. Very solid, very reliable card, and he can even be sided against decks that rely on remove from play strategies as well, and you can abuse their own remove from play cards with him. But card number 1, if you hadn't already guessed it, easily takes the cake. It's Brain Control. This card's been banned for a while, and yes, they might bring it back someday, and that'd probably be okay. But to be honest, you might not want it to come back. I mean, it's a normal spell, just pay 800 and steal a face-up monster. They get it back at the end of the turn, but there's no restriction on its ability to attack, or be tributed, or synchro, or Ixies, or anything like that. It doesn't show off their effects. A lot of the stealing, quote-unquote, cards that exist these days have restrictions like that, and Brain Control just doesn't have it. And 800 life points is almost never a significant cost compared to what you're getting in return. It's just a very powerful stealing card at the end of the day. And anybody pretty much would be glad to have it in their deck if they want to do anything even vaguely related to monsters. Only a handful of combo decks might not like this card. And it's that very versatility and diverse application that makes brain control powerful enough to warrant its place on the ban list. So anyway, there we are, the top 5 cards in order from the Lost Millennium. And until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and check out my channel for more cool videos.